I welcome on behalf of PIB dignitaries sitting on the dais, Mr. Parameswaran Iyer, Secretary, Drinking Water and Sanitation, Madam Jayashree Mukherjee, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Sri Rajiv Gupta ji, Secretary, Department of Youth Affairs, and Sri Rajiv Yadav ji, Secretary, Department of Sports, and Sri Akshay Raut, OSD, Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. So, first, Secretary Drinking Water and Sanitation will give his opening remarks, followed by presentations. So, I request you that today's conference is on Swachh Bharat mission. So, kindly restrict your queries to this topic only, and no other queries will be entertained. So, may I request you kindly switch off your mobiles. Now, over to Sri Parameswaran Iyer ji.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everybody for another press conference on the Swachhata Pakhwada. As was mentioned, we are very fortunate today to have a very senior panel. We have secretaries from Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, and additional secretary from Ministry of INB, and of course, Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation is the coordinating ministry. So this was a very interesting fortnight, and we would like to kick it off with a presentation, I think first from Ministry of INB on what were the main activities during the Swachhata Pakhwada in the ministry. Please. Are you doing it? Yeah, please, go ahead. Yeah. Let's keep it brief because we've got 3 to go, and then we will take questions after that.
Unfortunately not working, sir. Okay, that's fine. So would you mind coming in front?
I think it's okay.
We have. So what we've done is based on the calendar of activities that were outlined. Our secretary had taken a meeting where he had listed the kind of activities that have to be undertaken. This was a meeting which he took, and subsequently a communication that was sent. So what he did was, sir, a 1-year theme-wise activity was identified from August 16th to August 17th. So 1 year. Every month there are activities that are listed. What we've done, sir, we've listed some of the activities over there, which is a combination of the issues that you wanted to be flagged. What also Secretary did in his understanding, and he thought it would be a little better for the INB, was to include some other issues. For example, he talked about grievances, he talked about court cases, because his understanding at times was that it should be given a little wider perspective. So that was, we've included all the protocols which were expected from us over there. There has been an intensive cleanliness drive which has been carried within the ministry and the media units. If you go to the next slide, please. We have a sanitation committee, sir, based on your guidance and your communication. A sanitation communicated to the media units, basically talking about clean and healthy environment, monitoring, and most important, sir, fixing of responsibility of people, because it is not possible for one single individual to do the whole process. We've just flagged it for your reference, sir, reading files which we've just given some numbers. Now, unsurfaceable store items, this has been one major block, I think, across ministries as to how this kind of redundant material which lies. Madam AS had gone personally to supervise the whole thing. She went down, saw everything. She gave instructions that a tender should be floated. And next week, I'm happy to inform you that a whole lot of this unusable stuff is being validated. So we put some pictures for you. Before and after. This go back. Yeah, start. This is within the ministry, sir. Here is some, sorry for the back profile of the picture. The first one was a lot of items which were thrown at other ministries in our corridors, which it was an absolutely no man's land. Next one, this is from the Press Information Bureau, because our directive was also for our media units. So it's all listed what we did. Basically, cleaning of office equipment. One of the things that regional officers are not able to do. Old furniture, and then the arrangement of office space, because it should look definitely presentable, civic and hygienic. And then sensitization and specific portion of time every day. Would look very normal, but we had to grind this into our colleagues that we need to give some time in the whole day that we are in office. Next slide, please. So this is PIB Chandigarh for you, before and after. This is one of the regional offices which we wanted to flag for you. DAVP, sir, this is what they did, which is in Suchna Bhavan, sir. Some of the installation of CCTV cameras, sir, basically to make sure that the vandalization or people who try to indulge in activities which creates a kind of an uncivic sense within the premises, sir. Then more sir, efforts, stagnation of water, because that was something, because it's the need of the hour, that was something we did. Next, please. Doordarshan News, sir, because there's a lot of emphasis on advocacy, and IMD ministry is expected to take the message forward, and that is one of our key mandates, sir. We are talking about leading access, the kind of programming that we have done. Basically, society, sir, the sanitation work which has been undertaken by the NGOs, technologies that are in use, basically on an infotainment format that we are trying to do, sir. Spots on Swachh Bharat, that has been the order of the day. Awareness programs on small, short films on Swachhta, short interviews, etc. Regional stories, sir. Very important to take the success story forward. Next one, please. All India Radio, sir. Desh Apna Ujala, Ujla Ujla, 26 episode series. This has been a trend which has been there in AIR for your submission, sir. That whenever an issue comes up, they convert it into an edu format kind of thing, a kind of a radio serial where they mix and match all the characters, the script, the message. It's quite good. It was done in Make in India, it was done in Baby Badao, it was done for Skill India. So it's a continuation of the series. Then reviewing all of the channels, it was subject to that which has been a Publications division, sir. What takes the cake, sir? We are organizing a short film competition with the team of Swachh Bharat. NFPC will be aware of that. It's been the vision of the Honorable Minister, and we have taken this forward. 2nd October it was going to be finalized, sir, and the award ceremony will take place also on 22nd August. I'm happy to inform you, sir, we got very good publicity. The media was very kind to support us on this. And these are the categories and the kind of money that we have been able to social media coverage, what we have been doing. Perhaps we need to raise more awareness as far as social media across, whether Twitter or Facebook, etc.
And now I'll request Secretary, Ministry of Youth Affairs, to give us a quick run-through of the main activities in their ministry. Thank you.
The Department of Youth Affairs in the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has two very big field organizations, the National Service Scheme, NSS, which has about 36.5 lakh volunteers over 10 plus 2 schools and colleges in the country. Then we have the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, which has offices in 623 districts of the country, and in every state there is a state director, and we have about 3 lakh youth clubs all over the country with a membership of about 90 lakh members. Now, these two organizations, they had a very big nationwide campaign, and to start with, we come to the next slide. In this fortnight of 16th to 31st August, the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, now in this table you can see, actually we decided that we'll have day-wise activities. So we decided like what will be done on August 16, then there will be lectures, seminar and Swachhta Pledge on August 16, August 17, 18, then cleaning of the on-village of the youth club, then August 19 to 21, door-to-door campaign in the village on making the village open defecation free and Swachhta. Then distribution of IEC material in these days 19 to 21. Then intensive cleaning of villages. This is not only on village but neighboring villages also from August 22 to 26. Then cleaning of public institutions like health sub-centers, PHCs, then you can have orphanages also, old age homes, whatever was there in the area from August 27 to 29th. And then Swachhta rally in the village on August 30 and 31st. And a review also. The review would include how to maintain the cleanliness in the future also, that has been the level that has been attained now, how to sustain that. The number of programs is also very large. Please come back to the old slide. Yeah, the number of programs, item wise we have given. So they have done about, you can see this adds up to about 80,000 programs all over the country. The next slide is about an MOU signed between Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan and the Ministry of Urban Development in the presence of Honorable Minister of Urban Development and MOS, and you can see me also there in that, and our Director General Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, Major Dilawar Singh, signed it with the Mission Director for National Mission for in the Urban Development for National Mission for Cleanliness, and the MOU was signed on 30th August, and in this, the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan will mobilize youth to undertake awareness generation campaigns, physical Swachhta activities, social media campaign, and other cleanliness activities to bring about behavior regarding healthy sanitation and waste management. So, this will be done in 9 pilot urban local bodies of the NCR. So, this NCR means, you see, this has Gurgaon, this has Faridabad, this has Gautam Budh Nagar, and this has Delhi Kent, NDMC, and the 3 Delhi municipal corporations. So, all the NCR, the urban areas are covered, and for this, the Ministry of Urban Development will provide a funding of 4.7 crores, and the youth will be mobilized. There will be, in every this urban local body, there will be a team of 50 youth who will work for about 52 days, and they will be carrying the message across. They will do physical cleaning, and there will be a lot of activity. So, this is a good start that is going to be made. In addition, though it's not in the slide, I can also tell that we are also partnering with the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation under the National Mission for Clean Ganga, and in that also we are, our youth are working to make all the Gram Panchayats along the Ganges, that is 1651 Gram Panchayats, open defecation free. And in that also, we have selected youth in every village, and they have been trained by the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, and then they are doing this advocacy campaign in the villages. They are doing Ganjigiri also, like stopping people in the morning, like you use the toilet, don't go to the field and all these things. Next slide, please. Now, the next is about the NSS activities, the National Services Scheme. They also had a day-wise schedule. Like 16th August, there was a seminar in the school or college and a Swachhta Shapath. Then 17th, 18th was devoted to cleaning of the on-school college campuses. Then next was door-to-door campaigns, 19th to 21st August. I have given the number of programs also that were organized in the next column. Next slide, please. Then every NSS unit has an adopted village, or you can say it's a slum area or whatever it is. So in that, there was an intensive cleaning of these adopted villages and slums, and from 22nd to 26th August, they did it at 4,772 locations. Then cleaning of welfare institutions again, like Anganwadi, like orphanages, like PSCs, A&M centers. So then Swachhta rallies were taken out in all the institutions on 30th August, and 31st August, again, there was a meeting for sustaining the cleanliness drive, and the head of the institution was to declare the institution as a clean institution. So this was declared as clean. Every school or college where the NSS is there was declared by the college principal or the school principal as the clean institution. On 1st September, that is yesterday, was a very big campaign in Delhi, which was to mark the success of the Swachhta Pakhwada, and in this, more than 30,000 students and youth were out on the streets to convey the message of Swachhta to general public through placards and action on ground. Now I'll come to some photographs so that you get a feel of what the activities have been. Next. Oh, okay. And this is the splash cleanliness drive in Delhi that I was talking about, which was done yesterday. So kindly come to the next slide. Next slide, please. These are some NYKS action photographs. So you can see right from Jammu, Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Punjab. Then next slide, please. In Uttar Pradesh, you can see rallies, cleanliness drives, seminars, etc. Next. Southern region is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. I mean, not that we have loaded thousands of photographs from the portal of Drinking Water and Sanitation. These are just sub-selected photographs. So, I mean, it was there in every nook and corner of the country. Eastern region, next slide. The cleanliness drive is statue cleaning. We also focus on public statues cleaning. Then door-to-door campaigns. Next, again, eastern region. You have Odisha, West Bengal. Next slide, please. Western region, Gujarat and Rajasthan. Next, northeastern region. So the statue cleaning you can see again the cleaning of the roads, etc. Next, Andaman Nicobar Islands. So we also did in Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar, all corners of the country it was there. Next slide, please. So this is Delhi. Okay, there's some change of the order anyway. I'll come to this. Now this is NSS again, yeah. So activities in Delhi. Next slide, please. No, please come back, yeah. See, you can see the Swachhta Shapath being taken by the NSS volunteers. Similarly, there are Swachhta Shapath photos in the NYKS also. Next. These are activities in various areas. Next again. Again, NSS volunteers doing cleaning activities. Next. So these are some photographs of the rallies or the awareness campaigns that were taken out. Next. Again, rallies and awareness campaigns. Next one again. Now this is the 1st September, that is yesterday's programs that we had in Delhi. So we had around 30,000, but more than that, students and youth on the streets and displaying banners, displaying placards, and also doing physical cleaning. So, I mean, our volunteers and members of youth clubs, they are fully geared to carry the message of Swachhta and to do the physical cleaning with their own hands. And I mean, in schools also, the students, they learn and they teach their parents that they should have toilets in the homes, they should also maintain cleanliness, they should segregate the garbage. All these messages are going very well through. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that excellent presentation. I'll now request Rajiv from Secretary, Ministry of Sports, to give us an update.
Never mind. I think one of the key areas for attention of the Department of Sports is stadia. And in stadia, the activity takes place periodically. That means once an event takes place, and that time immediately thereafter there is a lot of cleanliness is to be done. A drive has to be launched immediately after the activity. And main focus in the stadia, when we compare our stadia with stadia and other facilities in developed countries, we have noticed is the change rooms and the toilets in the stadia complexes. So though in the Pakhwada we have undertaken activities, but the main attention of the department is now focused on increasing the number of toilets in all stadia and increasing the number of change rooms in the stadia complexes, so that the kind of crowding that takes place in the toilets during the events and the kind of feeling that we get when we go there, that should not be there. In the fortnight, we carried out many activities which included within the office, the corridors and other places were cleaned and removed of the unwanted materials, mainly old almirahs and papers and other things. We can see those photographs. There, next one. And then we requested the medal winner Olympians to give messages on Swachhata for their countrymen. And these messages were like, आज ही घर में शौचालय बनवाइए और इस्तेमाल कीजिए, आओ बनाएं एक स्वच्छ भारत, एक स्वस्थ भारत, एक चैम्पियन भारत. हमारा देश बहुत सुंदर है, हम स्वच्छता से इसे और सुंदर बना सकते हैं. मेरे देशवासियों के लिए यही एक संदेश है. And स्वच्छ भारत, महान भारत. We also organized activities in the academic institutes which are under the Department of Sports, which are the university at Gwalior, deemed university at Gwalior, and its regional center at Guwahati, and the SAI centers. They are located more than 60 around throughout the country. In those, the Pakhwada was observed by making a cleanly dive, and finally, we took part in the 31st August at NDMC, and jointly with NDMC also, an activity was carried out and is focused on stadia in Delhi. This has been our activity during Pakhwada, but as I said, that our focus has been on two things. One, that we have earmarked every Tuesday half an hour in the office for cleanliness. Everybody, whether the officer or the employee, half an hour on every Tuesday, he will remove with extra papers, etc., so that they don't pile up, and this time will be devoted exclusively for that. And the changing rooms and the toilets in the stadia complex, they are our focus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajiv. I'll now request Akshay to give us a very quick, Akshay, let's keep it quick on update from our own ministry, drinking water and sanitation.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
In that also we added a component of awarding the social champions. We did. I am very community leaders, ordinary citizens, old men and women who were so much both driven to have a toilet at their homes or in their daughters' homes, sisters' homes, under the statue of Amar Shahid Chandrasekhar Azad ji. And there was a convention of a very unique type which was done to make the Ganga bank villages ODF within this year and also make them Swachh grams. Central ministers were there, state ministers were there, all partner departments like Youth Department and Namami Ganga Rejuvenation Ministry were there. So it was something, and we are very gratified and feel humble and at the same time fulfilled that Honorable Prime Minister made a very special and elaborate mention of this in his Mann Ki Baat on 28th of August about this convention. So that gives us inspiration that we are on the right track so far as Swachhata Pakhwada is concerned. Then, as partly mentioned by Secretary Sports, we did a Swachhata promotion during this Pakhwada using our icons. One of the most important things that we could do is to get involved our Mr. Sachin Tendulkar to come to Delhi, sit with us and honor the champions from the field, namely collectors and others, who have done outstanding work in terms of Swachhata around the country. That was on 25th August within this Pakhwada. We have taken up discussions with Sri Amitabh Bachchan during this period so that he stands up for us in various, in public domain in various formats. We are working on this, but in this Pakhwada we made it a point to get into significant discussions with him. And as Secretary Sports just mentioned, we could organize our new Olympic icons who have got medals and achievements for this country. We could get them to stand up in favor of Swachhata, and this is an activity which is on, in which the Secretary Sports has been very kind to lend us some helping hand. And then this is very interesting, about which you all are partly aware. We finalized during this Pakhwada our action plans in relation to the 10 iconic places which the ministry, under the inspiration again of the Honorable Prime Minister, has taken up the task to make them Swachh icons also, international models of Swachhata. We could get the state governments, the local agencies, the trusts to meet together in Delhi and to finalize the action plans which will now be rolled out and acted upon. The last one that I wanted to mention was on 30th in Ladakh. There was a interfaith pledge in favor of Swachhata, in which our Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Panchayat Raj, Drinking Water, Sanitation, Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar, and also the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Harsh Vardhan, was there. There was faith leaders, NGOs, media activists, all took a Swachhata pledge. I mean, we are trying to involve these men and women who have a great influence on the minds of citizens at large. So to help us to create a Swachhata environment so that the idea of a clean India is made by October 2019, as it has been set as a goal. So that's what, these were a few significant things that we did during the Pakhwada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Akshay.
He is also acting as a model body and coordinating work. But the kind of achievement that are being made here, but do we have anything? I mean, at least from the Ministry of Sports, there was something concrete. They had some focused target areas. But apart from that, I mean, these are all humdrum. Could you give us something more specific in terms of achievement is what has been done?
Okay, let me just respond to that. When in terms of the Swachhata Pakhwada, there is a range of activities which are undertaken. And it ranges all the way from what you're calling the humdrum, which is the cleaning of the office premises themselves, but that's only one small part. And if you saw the other presentations, and if you saw the last presentation, you saw the youth affairs presentation, and as Secretary Sports mentioned, highlighting the achievement as well as the contribution of Olympic athletes and medalists to Swachhata. So I think actually this particular Pakhwada has highlighted quite a few innovative, and if you saw the last one, the Ganga Convention in Allahabad, etc. So you might have picked up one of the activities which the Ministry of INB had mentioned. I think it's a whole range. So the idea is it's not just the cleanliness activities in a particular ministry, it's in all the supporting organizations and across the country. So it's a geographical spread. So if you need more details, we'll be very happy to give you those details.
It struck me about that mention about 31st August and 1st of September. There was some mention of some activities that were taken in Delhi. But as far as, sir, I mean, we also function around this area. 31st, Delhi was entirely submerged under water, sir. I mean, 30,000 was the figure mentioned. 30,000 with the entire, would have gone chock-a-block.
30,000 was on the 1st of September. See, I mean, rain, of course, is a natural phenomenon. 31st, we had a lot of rain, and of course, water logging was there in most of the areas of Delhi. But 1st September, I mean, what we see, it was a cleanliness awareness drive, in the sense that the youth and the students, they were out on the streets, they were out on the chaurahas. So we had selected about 200 crossroads and roundabouts where the youth were there. They were there in Karotri, they were there in India Gate, they were there on Vijay Chowk, they were there, and even near Qutub Minar, the people were there. So, I mean, of course, 30,000 for Delhi is not a big number, but it's not a small number even, either. So, I mean, being the school days also, still the students would manage to come out and take up the cause of Swachhata. That is the inspiring thing. And this is, as we say, this is spreading. The message is going along, and the youth, the students, they are fully into it.
More questions, please?
How many such fellows have so far?
Yeah, we discussed it last time. So actually the closing date has just ended. We have got a few, so basically we are written to all these associations and federations, a lot of expressions of interest, and so we are now planning to have a follow-up meeting with them in a couple of weeks where we will explain the terms of reference for these positions. There is a lot of interest. We have had verbal inquiries. We, in terms of actual numbers committed, they're coming back to us. They need some more details. We expect that by end of this month, we'll have a concrete number, but there's a lot of interest. And we'll keep. Yeah, so we have got interest, as I said, from the different associations, right? Now, we don't have numbers yet, but we are expecting to get numbers by end of this month. And as I said, we are going to have a follow-up meeting because they want to know, they want more details. What are the precise job description? So as I said, what are the terms of reference? How long is it for? We had mentioned, given brief details. So there's, as an expression of interest, there is a lot of interest. We need to follow up. And we hope to have concrete numbers by end of this month.
Sir, recently there is a report by TIS for Urban Development Ministry, which pointed out that every time we are ending up only telling people what you should do. Unfortunately, there is also bigger responsibility of the government agencies, municipal bodies, even in villages, panchayats. At the end of the day, I am responsible for, cleaning my house, but what do I do after that? So if every time, the government is unfortunately focusing on people, that you clean it up, but from where, what does he do after that? They have actually talked about it. Until you do that, it doesn't serve any purpose. I take out the garbage from my home, put it on the road. What does happen? So how is the Rural Development Ministry or Drinking Water Sanitation Ministry is actually going to address these issues?
Okay, so I haven't seen that report and it'll be good to look at it. But let me tell you a little bit about our ministry and how we are dealing with solid and liquid waste management in rural areas, right? Because it's slightly different. Solid waste and liquid waste is different. So in rural areas, there is a clear provision for solid and liquid waste management, SLWM, in rural areas. And we have recently developed specific indicators for this. Until now, we were mainly focusing on monitoring open defecation free. So now indicators on solid and liquid waste management have been developed. We've also developed something called an index of village Swachhata. So every village will be ranked on solid and liquid waste management, plus on ODF and on visual cleanliness. Now, this is going to be self-ranked. So now the state governments have all agreed with this approach, and now this is going to be rolled out. First, it has to be incorporated in our own internal management information system, and we will be rolling this out. So as you rightly pointed out, each household will take care of the cleanliness within the household, but obviously there is a role beyond that. Now in rural areas it's slightly different, but there are some excellent models already in rural areas. You look at Tamil Nadu, you look at Andhra, they have introduced very good solid waste models where they have integrated 3 or 4 government programs. So together with Manriga, together with Swachh Bharat, they've used 14 Finance Commission grants, State Finance Commission grants, and they put together a model where every village, there are many pilot villages in Tamil Nadu which have introduced good solid waste management. Liquid waste is a little more complex, and we are starting to work on both in the index. So we'll be able to share this with you. As far as urban is concerned, we'll have to get a few more details from urban. Thank you. देखिए इसमें ये जो टारगेट है, जैसे राजीव गुप्ता जी ने कहा, इसमें 1651 ग्राम पंचायत हैं. जो वहाँ पे कन्वेंशन हुआ था, वहाँ पे जितने भी सरपंच आए हुए थे, उन्होंने प्लेज लिया कि वो ये जो टारगेट है 31 दिसंबर 2016 का है, दे विल फुलफिल दैट टारगेट. इसमें लेकिन वो तो एक प्रेजेंस था कि इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स आके उन्होंने अपना कमिटमेंट दिखाया. इसके अलावा ये रेगुलर काम चल रहा है मॉनिटरिंग का 5 स्टेट्स में. तो वी आर इन रेगुलर टच विद द 5 स्टेट्स. देयर हैज़ बीन अ रीसेंट सेटबैक बिकॉज ऑफ द फ्लड्स, particularly in UP and Bihar, where this work has taken a back seat. But we are back in regular contact with the states, and it is quite a challenging task, but we are confident that 31st December tak, ODF status will be achieved in all these villages.
Sir, recently Prime Minister had asked your minister to write a letter to all ministers in the Union Minister. What's it about? I believe it's all about accelerating the pace of the Swachh Bharat mission.
This, I'm not, which letter is this?
This is regarding Swachh Bharat mission.
So, I mean, basically we are doing this all the time. So our minister, has recently brought about the focus on directly contacting elected representatives, which is why we had the convention in Allahabad. And so the plan going forward is that we will be holding meetings in different states because, to make sure that in addition to contacting the collectors and state government officials, we will also be contacting through the state governments, of course, the elected representatives at district, block and GP level. So I think the focus going forward will be to take everyone together to make sure that this movement is a bottom-up movement and it's not a top-down. So it's just a renewal of the ongoing efforts.
सिविक बॉडीज़ को रिस्पॉन्सिबल बनाने के लिए मिनिस्ट्रीज कुछ कर रही हैं. ये स्टेट्स में तो बड़ा बुरा हाल है और जो सिविक बॉडीज़ हैं वो कोई काम ऐसा नहीं करती हैं. जनता अपना स्वच्छ भारत में अपना हिस्सेदारी निभा देगी, लेकिन वो अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं निभा रहे हैं. इसके लिए कुछ क्या मिनिस्ट्री कर रही है?
बिल्कुल, तो सिविक बॉडीज़ जैसे आपने कहा है, ये एक बेसिक यूनिट है स्वच्छ भारत के लिए, चाहे वो रूरल सिविक बॉडीज़ हों या अर्बन। तो रूरल सिविक बॉडीज़ में तो पंचायतें हैं, तो ज़िला पंचायत, ब्लॉक पंचायत, ग्राम पंचायत, उनके साथ तो डायरेक्टली हम काम कर रहे हैं और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स भी काम कर रहे हैं। अर्बन सिविक बॉडीज़ के लिए मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अर्बन डेवलपमेंट इज़ नोडल मिनिस्ट्री एंड दे आर वर्किंग डायरेक्टली विथ सिटीज़ एंड म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज़। तो for more details on urban civic bodies, I will refer you to our colleagues in urban development, but we will ask them to get in touch with you. But they are in direct touch with municipalities just as we are in touch with rural civic bodies.
जो जानकारी हमें है नहीं, वैसे वो शहरों की रैंकिंग करा रहे हैं, सर्वे कराएंगे शहरों के।
But you know, if you go there, you'll find, suppose I make a complaint, I get a reply. It's a very good complaint. Please talk to the local municipal. See, that is the, you know, that is the only task of the ministry. I'm not talking about your ministry. Municipal bodies have some other ministry. No, it's ending up like post office. I'm getting it and you are just delivering to someone else. So how does it help us?
So Deepak, that's a good point. As far as rural, our ministry is concerned, Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, so this is a question we have been trying to address. So when we get a public complaint, it's a public grievance, so we will, of course, we will refer it to that particular district, state and district. But then we follow up to make sure that the complaint is addressed. So we have a mechanism where we cross-check. So we take at random, I don't know, Neha, how many, is it 20 every week? So we take 20 complaints and we phone them up directly to find out whether or not their particular grievance has been redressed. So that's one thing we do, but we will make sure that one way or another it is redressed. We don't strike it off our list until it's redressed. And I'm sure Urban Development Ministry is also following the same. So it is one thing to give it to the municipality. Ultimately, responsibility is of the municipality if it's urban, but I think it's also important to follow up to make sure that the grievance is redressed.
मेरा प्रश्न राजीव यादव जी के लिए है। इस अभियान के तहत क्या जितने भी देश भर में स्टेडियम्स हैं साई के अंडर में या खेल मंत्रालय के अंडर में, वहाँ भी कुछ एक्स्ट्रा टॉयलेट्स वगैरह कुछ बनाए जाने की योजना है कुछ क्या?
इस अभियान के तहत एक्स्ट्रा टॉयलेट चेंज रूम प्रथम फेज़ में इम्पोर्टेंट स्टेडियम में बनाए जाने की योजना है, क्योंकि इट डिपेंड्स ऑन अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रिसोर्सेज आल्सो, एंड उसके बाद इट विल बी कैरीड आउट थ्रू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स, बिकॉज जो स्टेडियम हैं और जो इस तरह की प्लेइंग फैसिलिटीज़ हैं वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से ज़्यादा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के पास हैं, क्योंकि डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो है जो स्टेट में हैं दे आर ओन्ड बाय स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स। तो और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स में वेरिंग बजट्स हैं स्पोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट के। हम अगर देखें सबसे ज़्यादा बजट गुजरात के स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का है स्पोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट का, पिछले साल 300 करोड़ था, इस साल 500 के करीब टच कर रहा है। और ऐसे भी स्टेट हैं जहाँ की 50 करोड़ ही है ये बजट, तो ये फुल रेंज है 50 से 500 करोड़ वाली। लेकिन ये एकदम आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया गया है कि चेंज रूम्स एंड टॉयलेट्स इन स्टेडियम कॉम्प्लेक्स दीज हैव टू बी इंक्रीज एंड इम्प्रूव्ड। जी, राज्य सरकारों को बिल्कुल बोलेंगे और इस बारे में जो निर्देश हैं वो भी, और इसके लिए फंडिंग जो है अभी जो नया प्रोग्राम खेलो इंडिया एक लॉन्च किया गया उसके तहत भी इसके लिए फंडिंग अवेलेबल होगी।
One more general question. How is the funding aspect of this Swachh Bharat campaign? Do private companies are coming forward? And if just a mere observation, I think all of you will agree with that. If you look at the industrial workers, where do they stay? Those small colonies and all those areas. They are where you need to do this more Swachh Bharat campaign. So don't you think corporates can come out there for their employees only? And how is the funding part? How much you have got funding?
Yeah, two questions. So first on the funding, as we mentioned, I think a few pakwadas before, there is the Swachh Bharat Kosh, which is open to receiving funding from public or private. And so we have recently made efforts at trying to increase the marketing of the course together with Finance Ministry. And so far there's been a good response, but still it is mainly from the public sector. And, but private sector is contributing in other ways. So there is the India Sanitation Coalition. They're doing awareness building, and each one of their members, or many of their members, within their own domain, within their own sphere and their own units and factories, they're adopting schools, they're taking up villages. So that is not strictly in terms of funding to the course, but they are taking care of their own surrounding areas mainly. But we would also like to encourage them to contribute to the course, so it's an ongoing effort. As far as the workers in industrial areas, that is a very important area. And these public sector or private sector organizations need to address that issue. And many of them are. Again, as far as we are concerned, directly we are functioning more, focusing more on rural areas. But wherever it's in urban areas, the Ministry of Urban Development, it's part of their mandate. But it is an important area. And some companies are dealing with it a little more aggressively than others.
One supplementary to this,
Yes, it is.
how much?
It's fully deductible. Yeah. Thank you very much.